Now, if you're doing a food blog, you probably would have noticed that the recipes that we've put in to this demo website have just been basically Latin placeholder text. And sure, we could just use the built-in WordPress tools to list the ingredients and list the method of the recipe. We recommend using the EasyRecipe plugin to do all of this. There are two plugins. There's the EasyRecipe and WP Ultimate Recipe plugins, and both of them will work with the themes. The advantage of using the EasyRecipe plugin is that we actually have some custom styles that you can add to that to make it look perfect within your Kaleidoscope theme. As you'll see in this tutorial, it will look a little bit funny when you use it with the standard styling, but we have styling that will make it look like it fits perfectly in with the theme. There's a lot of advantages to using a plugin. The first one is that when you're actually entering the recipe information, it's a little bit easier. It'll talk you through some of the things you need to put in, like ingredients and steps and preparation time and cooking time. And also it will produce a lot of hidden metadata that is very useful for getting your recipe noticed within Google search results. And it will also allow the user to print a copy of your recipe, and it will handle all the complication regarding that. So for that reason, I highly recommend that you use the EasyRecipe plugin to put in the actual recipe details of your recipes. Why don't we start our journey by installing the EasyRecipe plugin? We do that by going to the plugin screen. We click Add New. We put in EasyRecipe in the box and hit enter. Ideally we spell it correctly. Then we select the one that comes up there in the top left corner, EasyRecipe Install Now. And the EasyRecipe plugin is installed and we activate the plugin. Now it's time for the slightly trickier bit. The next lesson we actually go away from the admin and we go to our hosting provider admin, which are flashed up at the top of the screen. Now, if you're not with Bluehost, you'll have something similar on your hosting provider. But basically the area that we're going to go to in Bluehost is called the File Manager. But in every hosting provider that I've ever used, and I've used GoDaddy and 1&1 and a couple of others, it will be called something almost identical. It'll be called File Manager or File Uploader or FTP Browser or something like that. And really all we're doing is we're going into the area where the EasyRecipe plugin is installed, and we're adding a few files of our own that are downloadable through the Kaleidoscope theme. It's one of the 3 downloads that you would have got when you purchased Kaleidoscope, and it's the EasyRecipe plugin styles. So we're just going to add that into the plugin that you have installed on your server. So once you've clicked on the File Manager, you get to this point, and then you have to find the location of the EasyRecipe plugin, which in this case is standard location in WordPress, WP Content, Plugins, EasyRecipe, and underneath that you go to Styles, and you'll have a list of the currently installed EasyRecipe plugin styles. Now you'll notice a certain numbering scheme here. At the point recording this video, there's 7 styles, but there might be more in the future. So you have to just find the maximum style number and then just create your own folder, which is a number after that. In this case, we're going to create style 008. By the way, this is the closest to programming you're going to get in any of these videos. So we create style 008. That's great. And now we need to upload to that the zip file that we have downloaded when we purchased the Kaleidoscope theme. So we click Choose File. We locate it. I have all of my Kaleidoscope theme zip files here. And then it's the Kaleidoscope EasyRecipe.zip. Now that zip file is uploaded, all we have to do is unzip it for the style to be applied. So any interface that you use to do something like this is going to have things like unzip. Extract is a very, very common functionality. So in this case, it's Bluehost, and we use the extract, and that very quickly extracts it. And because I'm a bit of a penchant for OCD, I'm going to delete the zip file as well, just to clean things up. Now we have an EasyRecipe plugin with a style customized for the Kaleidoscope theme, and you'll understand why we're bothering with any of this in the next 2 minutes. So let's go to the chocolate pot and actually put a recipe in. And we do that by clicking the Easy Recipe button that appeared in our WordPress installation after installing the Easy Recipe plugin. Now there's a lot of information that you can put in here. I recommend that you put ingredients, instructions, cooking preparation and total time, and the author. You don't necessarily need to put everything because you kind of have recipe types, and a lot of this stuff you might actually be doing with your tags and your categories. You may not want to duplicate it all here, but there is a minimum amount of information that it is worth putting in, because otherwise Google won't recognize your recipe as strongly. The reality is you really want to put a recipe name, you really want to fill out the 3 fields down here. You want to fill out the preparation time, the cooking time, and the yield. They don't seem important, but they're very important in regards to Google recognizing your recipe. Now we fill those fields out and we click Add Recipe, and we can see a recipe there, but we don't really know what this looks like on the UI. So we're going to publish it. Just have a little look. So now we've published it. Oh, and there's our recipe. But, I mean, let's be honest, it doesn't look great. It looks okay. It looks very Windows 98. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it's styled using the custom style that we have preloaded into the Easy Recipe plugin. You do that by double-clicking on the recipe, finding the little pop-up that mysteriously comes up in other parts of the screen. There it is. Click on Display Styles, and you'll actually have a Kaleidoscope style in there. Try style. There it is. And it actually looks like it's perfectly integrated with our theme. It looks like it was always meant to be, and it's got our cute little icons that our graphic design department came up with. And that's it. All you need to do now is click on it, find that elusive pop-up, click on Display Styles, and click Save as Default. Now, all the recipes that you do through the Easy Recipe plugin will look this awesome and will work perfectly within the Kaleidoscope theme.